That'll help me not get annoyed with it. That's what usually happens. I get annoyed with all the wires flopping around and stuff. Okay, let's start pulling it apart. Now, I normally put these screws in a little sequence, lay them out somewhere, but I think this time I might actually just put them back into their position. That way I know for sure. For some reason the whole Mark G, they use a flat washer there. I'd be more inclined to use a spring washer myself, but that's what it is. Oh, the motor will come out. Just a matter of undoing that little screw for the transistor, I suppose. All right. So put these back in. Only needs a few screw threads. That's all it needs, just to stop them getting lost or put back in the wrong position, which is the bigger thing, because sometimes they're just slightly different lengths. Right. This is slightly different to the 482Z that I recently repaired, but there's enough similarities to help me out. For example, that little tiny E-clip there is what holds the shaft for the idler wheel. Have to take that off to repair the idler wheel. It's just too hard to do in situ. Basically have to cut out the old tyre and squeeze in a new one. And I'll show a little bit more later, but the other thing is that I need to use a little bit of rubber grease, automotive rubber grease, in the wheel of the where the tyre goes, or the rim, I guess you'd call it. Right, now that should just come up. Right, now one thing, yes, I should check first, is to take off that rubber and yeah. Now the thing to remember, which I probably didn't do this time either, but that little hook there sits over that little horizontal bar there, so that fits in with that, and this arm goes in here. That's the major thing to remember. You can probably see all the gunk that's collected in there. What a disaster that was. One capacitor caused all this hardship. Right. Oops. Yeah, I thought you've got to be so careful. That one goes there, yeah. Oh dear. maybe these were old belts. I mean, that's gone misshapen. Well, at first glance, the heads look pretty good. In fact, the pinch rollers look to be in pretty good condition as well. That's all good. Well, I'm going to try not to disturb any of that too much. Right, now I'll set that back in here. Now I will just get to with a solution of alcohol, and just with a toothbrush and a little small paintbrush, just slowly go over all of this and make sure it's clean, and then when all that's done, grease the appropriate places and oil the appropriate places. So probably no need to show you all of that. That's fairly laborious, but you can see that the crap that's been deposited here, it's just everywhere, and yeah, it needs to be cleaned off, otherwise it might flake off in the future and cause trouble. So alright, so that's that put aside. I'll show you the idler tyre. That's it there. It goes up and down and turns around and moves either, what's that, the take-up hub. Oh, it's a bit stiff. Oh, it's the brakes on, that's why. It's still a bit stiff. We'll need some oil. Same with that one, it's not totally free. I don't know about the motor, whether I'll take it apart or not. I don't want to, but if it's like everything else, it probably needs to be renovated, so yeah, I probably will. I haven't seen one of these sort of motors before, so I don't quite know how it's going to come apart. Oh, we'll see. Anyway, the other two things is to take off these hubs and replace the idler tyre. Now, to get the idler tyre off, I normally take off this little tiny clip there and it falls out. But I can see though that the supply reel has this extra wheel on it that's used by the optical sensor that's with the other bit. So it may not just fall out like it normally does, so I think I'm going to have to take off these hubs ASAP. Right, now how we do that is each of them have like a little cap on the top, and you just lever it off. Now, so right, there it is. It's a little tiny cap that just clips onto the end. That's all it is. Took me a while to realise that. So, and then the whole thing. Oh, there's extra little gubbins on this one. Right. That pulls out. This is the supply side. Yeah. Right. Now, what's different on this one compared to the 482 is this little tiny thing here, which is a little friction device, and I would say the little slot fits over this little tiny plastic thing there. Okay. Okay, it's just a little tiny spring providing tension. That could very well be the only back tension there is. So yes, it is slightly different to the 482, that's for sure, but some bits of it are similar. With the other machine, the 482, you actually pull off this top bit there to get to the spring and ensure that it's nice and smooth. With the 482, what happened was that it was not easily going up and down, and it was catching before it got to the end like that, and it was causing the these three-pronged hub here not to connect with the cassette hub, and it was just rattling. So I had to smooth that out, file that away a little bit, but I think this one's all right. But there's not much point in going further apart with this one, because with the 482 it was actually part of the clutch mechanism. But this one, it doesn't have that. The only clutch is this little tiny thing at the bottom. Yeah, quite a bit different. Alright. And those three prongs, they don't just sit loose, they go into the holes there to keep it in position. Not sure what that spring does, but anyway. So, all very cute. So anyway, now I can get the idler tire off. Now, normally as I said, I'd just take it out from in there, but actually I still might. I was thinking because it's a bigger one here, it's less likely to lose it, etc. But the thing is, I think that shaft should be cleaned and oiled, and to do that you really need to take it out, so I think I will. Let's put these things in here, and of course I need to make sure that I do all of this within a day or so, otherwise I'll forget where things go. Okay, now the thing with these E-clips is just to make sure you've got your fingers around the whole thing so it doesn't fly off into the wilderness. Okay, that came off quite nicely. Now I can pull it out. There we go. Yeah, it looks pretty yucky there, so it'll be good to give that a little bit of an oil. Alright, so there it is, the idler tire, and that rubber is rock hard. It's like hard plastic. It's terrible. Alright, so I might actually leave that till a bit later. Because cleaning all of this, I don't want that to get in the way. Right, now we do the same with the the take-up hub. Right. Right, there's no clutch there at all. Ah, there's a clutch in here. Okay, that's the clutch. Okay. Ah, okay. Oh, right, of course. All right. So the other one. No, there's no clutch on the supply one. And the 482, there's a clutch on each of them. They're very similar. But this one, the clutch is only on the take-up. Now, I'll probably have to take this apart to give the, I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a pad in there which is the take-up clutch. That really should be cleaned. So that will mean taking this apart here. All right, that will be, stick that in there with the cap. All right, so we're getting down to the basics now. There's two little motors and a potentiometer and little arms and whatever. So now we get to and clean it all. Okay, all right, I'll see you in a while after I clean it all up. Okay, it's the next day now, and I'm about to start cleaning the mechanism. With this one will be the first one I do. It's the middle plate. But before I do that, I thought I'd just make sure these motors are working. So I've got my little 9-volt battery, and I'm going to apply it to each of them and see what happens. This one has a regulator on it, so I don't know how this one will work, but we'll see. No. Maybe wrong way around. Nothing. Well, I don't know what that means. Either it's not enough volts, or it requires a pulsed signal. Don't know yet. Lots of terminals in there. Yeah, obviously a different sort of motor. Alright, we'll come to that eventually. But these ones are simple DC motors. Easy to tell. Yep. Alright, so they're working. How good are they? Well, don't know. Well, it doesn't seem to have any flat spots, which is good. By simply stalling it and letting it go, if it wants to take off, then it's probably okay. Oh, okay, I think they're both pretty good. Interesting thing about these is that these brass sleeves that are on the shaft of the motor to drive the idler, they're not a what's the phrase, a fit whereby you heat it up and slide it on and it then contracts and holds onto the shaft. No, they're actually just glued on. And the last one I did, I had to use polyurethane glue down in there to hold it onto the shaft. Oh, I mean, it does the job, I guess. All right. Okay, well, I think that part is ready. Now we'll get on to another part.